Quick thinking in a small Southland hamlet helped to save a herd of calves as floodwaters swept through their paddock. Heavy rain battered the lower South Island yesterday, causing widespread flooding and damaging roads. The floodwaters also uplifted a group of calves, whose owners discovered them bobbing in murky water. But as our Otago Southland reporter Tess Brunton discovered, their safety was in good hands.
I've got calves swimming across. Oh my gosh! If they get floated away!
Floodwaters were rising when Mike Bodle and his daughter Alexandra found their Wagyu calves trying to swim to safety. It had been a long night and morning for the farmers, who were busy checking on the stock of their family property, Braintree Farms at Browns. When they reached the paddock, they found it flooded with grassy islands sticking above the floodwaters.
We'd never really seen anything like it, just how hard it came down. So it was 100 mil of rain. Just came through just over the road and into the paddock where the calves were. Just kept rising so quick, just happened so fast.
Mr Bodle says some calves were safe on the island, but many panicked and began to swim, bobbing towards higher ground. His neighbours heard about the calves and offered their support, and one offered a lifeline, an inflatable river raft they had in their shed. So into the raft they started packing the calves, some of which were exhausted from their struggle against the surge.
The first ones were pretty exhausted, so they just sort of sat there and just sort of hopped out, and the other ones that were on the dry ground had a bit more fight in them, so actually pushed one of the boys off the raft, but they managed to pull them all both back in. Fortunately, they were all wearing life jackets.
Even the calves?
No, all the staff and neighbours.
It took 6 loads to bring them to safety.
The 67 were in the paddock. There was a dozen or so that were already on dry land that had come back to the end of the paddock, which was safe. And so they'd saved about 35, and probably about 11, I think, went down the river.
So how are the survivors?
They're going pretty good. The Wagyu are sort of a communal sort of animal, and there's some that are still bellowing out for their mates that we've lost. So yeah, that's pretty tough.
He says his farm got away lightly. Neighbouring farms lost a lot of their sheep, while others' crops were ruined. Mr Bodle offered his thanks to the community who helped to save his calves.
It's great to have a good community behind you, the neighbours and everyone that pitch in time of need.
For now, Mr Bodle and other Southland farmers are busy clearing the damage, hopeful the deluge may at least keep another summer drought at bay. For Checkpoint, Tess Brunton, tēnei.